waiting on the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. 'Cause this is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. I've been waiting on the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. 'Cause this is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to TDPHINSTALK, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. Let me bring my seat up. How are y'all feeling this morning? This is Defeat Monday, Therapy Monday. Y'all know how these work. We're going to have a good conversation and have a real serious, a real conversation, all right? Y'all give me a second. That camera thing is happening again. Y'all give me one moment. Testing. Y'all give me 1 second. We got to work on this camera thing real quick. I don't know why it's freeze framing on me again. All right. Hopefully that fixes it. If it doesn't, I'll correct it later. TD, you're muted. Y'all let me know if you can hear me in the comment section. Make sure we take care of all that stuff first. All right. Let me make sure y'all can hear me, yes or no, in the comment section if you can hear me or not. Want to make sure I could take care of that first. You good? Yep, it did. Okay. All right. So good. Y'all can hear me. I'm glad to hear it. Okay. First thing first, we want to take care of some business. First thing first, let's take care of some business. Our official sponsor of the morning show, as always, is Mojo. You all know about Mojo now. It is available in Jersey. We just end up playing the Jets. So most of the Jets fans that live up in Jersey, this is a huge opportunity for you all to be able to invest in your favorite players or the players you don't like, stock up, stock down. And yesterday there was a lot of implications when it came to stock up and stock down. On the Miami Dolphins side of the ball, we know a lot of stocks are down. On the Jet side of the ball, we know that a lot of stocks are up. And I don't like it. I have to be honest with y'all. But, it is what it is. The market dictates what the market dictates. And at the end of the day, these guys have to go out and perform very well to dictate what their value is in the market. As you all can see, first and foremost, I wanted to start with Tua Tagovailoa. His stock went up yesterday alone by 5.07% just for not playing because of how bad we were, especially at the position, gives him a lot more value. Knowing the numbers that he put up, it definitely, that alone gives him a lot of value. His stock has been up and down, up and down, up and down in the last week, but it's still on the rise. But ever since the performance last week when he got hurt, it went down. So once again, I think Tua Tagovailoa, if you believe in his long-term future, it's an opportunity to buy the stock when it's low. If you don't believe in his long-term future, it's also an opportunity to bet on the stock decline as well. Go short on it. But I want to look at another one here. Let's look at Teddy, because I want to go through all three quarterbacks and show you something. Teddy Bridgewater's just fell. Okay. At the end of the day, you're a backup solidified now in your career, and you're basically a backup in your career, and now you get hurt on the first play of the game and you get a safety and your stock just falls. And Teddy Bridgewater, if I was able here in Florida to invest, I would short his stock because I don't see it rising at all. I just don't at this point. And last but not least, we got to go to Skylar Thompson. Skylar Thompson's stock rose and then it fell, but it's still above what it was before we entered into that game. Why is Skylar's stock up and he didn't play great at all? Because it's about the long-term projection of a player. His stock rose slightly simply because he was actually even able to get some action. He was actually able to get some action. And we're talking about one game for a rookie 7th round pick. Some people would actually say he did well to be a rookie 7th round pick in that game. And as I looked at the film last night, I definitely feel like I overreacted with all the, oh my gosh, he trash and all this and that. Because when I looked at the film, he had a lot of moments that he definitely wish he could take back, but there were a lot of positive things that he did as well. And it was shocking to me. I was like, man, I overreacted X, Y, and Z and basically saying he was trash and all this and that. He actually didn't have as bad as a game that I thought initially. The circumstance around him was very poor. And that could be a good reason why his stock has actually risen a little bit. And at the end of the day, time will tell and we'll see what it turns out to be. But again, if you're in Jersey, go download Mojo right now. All right, in the Apple Store. It is available in Jersey, and it looks like it may be expanding soon. But also, even beyond expanding soon, I know that they're also going to have college players and doing penny stocks on college players coming up soon. That's what I heard. So you'll be able to take advantage of that opportunity as well. But listen, man, Skylar is 144 a share. Like, I don't see him being 10 cents. And this is actually an amazing investment. I would actually go heavy on this because I don't see myself losing a lot of money. Even if he's sitting back as a backup, he's not going to be dropping way, way, way down. I think that he's already solidified himself at least as a guy that they want to keep developing for years. But if he ever gets the opportunity and he shines, that stock can skyrocket, like literally skyrocket. Like, I want to go to Davis Mills, a guy who just got an opportunity. Davis Mills, $18 a share. If he just gets a Davis Mills opportunity, that's almost 14 times your money. So I would actually invest in Skylar stock because I feel like the risk isn't great and the reward could be immense. Just my take on that. So again, go to Mojo, sign up. All right. Go to Mojo if you're in Jersey. Sign up now. Take advantage of these opportunities. And if you're not in Jersey, you can still download the app and go ahead and look at your favorite players or the players you don't like. Look at their stock and what it looks like. All right. So again, Mojo, make sure you go get the app, ladies and gentlemen. Listen. First and foremost, we got to have a conversation about the game yesterday. And like I just said, after I watched the film pretty much like twice yesterday, because at the end of the day, I'm evaluating Skylar Thompson. Really, the team was just trash. I mean, it wasn't much to even evaluate. It was what it was, So it was really, let me look at Skylar Thompson. And what I got out of the Skylar Thompson performance, again, I still didn't like it. At the end of the day, I mean, nobody's going to change me from, a lot of people, bro, it wasn't as bad as you're making it seem for him and this and that, and this. I didn't like it, okay? Be mad at me all you want, okay? I didn't like his performance. And at the end of the day, the reason why I'm extra hard even on Skylar is for the simple fact that you're not going to get many opportunities to be able to prove yourself. So you got to make everyone count. Now, if we drafted you in the first round, I still wouldn't have liked your performance. But if you were the guy that they're hoping to be of the future, I wouldn't be tripping. I wouldn't be tripping as hard because it's one game. It was one game. But that's not the case. You were a 7th round pick. Your opportunities are going to be minimal and limited. You're not going to get many. If you play next week, you'll be blessed to do that. That's if they don't bring Tua back, which we're going to talk about. So you have to take advantage of every opportunity, and absolutely, like, I understand the circumstance around you, but there were things that you could control that you have to take advantage of. So that's why I'm a little harder, on a 7th round pick that didn't really get first team. This is what I hear from everybody. He was a 7th round pick. He didn't really get first team reps this week. They didn't work on the things that he does well this week a lot. Again, he was drafted in the 7th round. The O-line was pure garbage. The receivers are dropping balls. Tyreek and Waddle out there playing hurt. Gesicki, the whole tight end situation is like a mystery to everybody now. I understand all of those things. But just like every quarterback, I'm not going to evaluate you on what you couldn't control. I'm only going to evaluate you on what you could control. And there were opportunities you left out there. And I don't care about you being a 7th round pick. You said in an interview earlier this week you want to be an NFL starter. Then you have to take advantage of every opportunity that comes your way. And you could have had a bad game, but as long as you took care of what was in your control, I would have been up here singing your praises, defending Skylar Thompson against all the Skylar haters who just want to elevate Tua. But you left opportunities out there. Now, was it all bad? No, there was some actually really good things that I saw, some really good attributes that I really enjoyed in that game. But at the end of the day, you got to be better. Now, as I do go in my bag and say, but let me be realistic, because I have to ask myself, I told myself this, TD, you're treating Skylar the exact same way you treat Tua. And in my mind, I'm like, so? Well, people have told me that in the last 14 hours. You're treating Skylar like you treat Tua. And I'm like, so? They're both quarterbacks. Well, one was a 5th round pick and 5th overall pick, and one is a 7th round pick. I understand that, y'all, but I don't care, because the goal is to find our future quarterback. So I don't care if you're a 12th round pick, undrafted. You got to play at a level where you're taking advantage of the opportunities that are given to you. Now, if I'm a soften up and be reasonable, like everybody's saying I need to be about it, and calm down, okay, I get it. He's not the 5th overall pick. And I also get the fact that Tua has had actually worse games than that. Denver, Tennessee, Raiders twice. He's had worse games than that. I get that. But we're looking for our franchise quarterback. That's why I'm not 100% sold on Tua yet. A game and a half of great play doesn't change my perception of Tua, just like the Arizona game didn't change my perception of Tua. So I understand what everybody's saying when they come to me, but I've told y'all consistently, I will always be hard on quarterbacks until we find our guy who is just balling out, taking advantage of every opportunity that other teams are giving us. And we just haven't had that. We haven't had that. We've had spurts of it on a level that just isn't consistent. So, Skylar, if you're blessed enough to get one more opportunity, you gotta be better. You were a 4.5 out of 10, in my opinion, in that game. And if I'm gonna be a generous person, 5.5 out of 10. But you, at your level and your draft status, I still need to see at least a 6. And that's not what I got. But for all those people that's been very proud and chin up the last, 18 hours or however long it's been saying, oh, you wanted Skylar, this and that. Absolutely. And I still want Skylar. And I still think Skylar can be a good quarterback in this NFL. And I still think he potentially could be a starter if they game plan for him. He gets the same O-line that Tua had in the beginning of this season. He gets the same weapons, just like everybody been saying, that's healthy. I still think he can be very good and productive. But even though you didn't have all those things, that still is an excuse to me. I still need to see better play from Skylar Thompson. So you're not saying anything when you say, oh, TD, this is what you wanted. It's funny how y'all are reacting off of one game. But any one game that Tua has, we're not allowed to react to it. It's one game. Chill out. So my thing is, I'm just really tired of the hypocrisy in this community. And at some point, some of y'all need to just stop, and some of y'all need to call it out. Stop giving people a pass. The hypocrisy is at an all-time high. Sometimes I wait on moments like this, like, oh, if Skylar don't play well, watch all the hypocrisy. And sure enough, he didn't play well, but he doesn't get to say a seventh round pick doesn't get the benefit of the doubt that Tua gets, a fifth overall pick. I want y'all to let that sink in. If you're one of those individuals, I want you to truly think about that. A seventh round pick doesn't get the benefit of the doubt that a fifth overall pick gets. And I've been told that I'm the one who's had the agenda for the last 2.5 years. I'm the one preaching a narrative and an agenda. But I've been nothing but consistent. Tua plays great. I've praised him. He plays like trash. I told you he played like trash. Skylar played great in preseason. I praised him. He came out yesterday, played like trash. I said he played like trash. But why is it that these people, when Tua plays like trash, they make every excuse in the world, but then a seventh round pick comes out there, and back in the old Tua situation, the line beat up, the receivers dropping balls, 13 penalties, right? He's thrown into a Tua's first 2-year situation, but I don't hear all the same excuses. I don't hear all the same stuff. Tua Non said Tua does not play like trash. Did he not play like trash versus Denver? Did he not play like trash versus the Raiders twice? Did he not play like trash versus Tennessee? See, these are individual games. So no, Tua doesn't have, like, Tua's overall body of work is not trash. Tua is a average, solid quarterback. Above average quarterback. He's went from average to above average because he got a game and a half of great play. Okay. But look at how many games he got. What if Tua's first game in the NFL, he played the same way he did versus the Denver? But we heard all the excuses in the Denver game. Or the Raiders. But Skylar can't get not one of those excuses. I ain't heard a single person say the O-line didn't block for Skylar at all. I don't use those excuses, but I was looking for the same excuses from y'all for Skylar. Everybody knows that O-line was horrific yesterday, but I haven't heard any person say the O-line did not support their quarterback. Did I hear anybody complain about the drop balls? Did I hear anybody complain about the 13 penalties? None. When you disregard The defense TDs. How many points per game did Tua put up? 13, 42, 14. Is that a dominant QB? Well, first off, I'm not sure exactly where the numbers are coming from that you're getting. 13, 42, and 14. Yeah, he did 3 games. Was it 3 games? Bengals. Yeah, it's only 3 games. You're right. I don't know how many points I don't remember how many points the defense put up in some of these games. I just don't remember how many points the defense has put up in some of these games. Are these the scores without the defensive scores? Is that what this is? I'm just not sure. I haven't done that math yet, honestly. But what I have done is realize this, and EM actually helped me realize this. When you look at Tua Tagovailoa, he has a game and a half of good football play, right? Like, yes, this is what we need. He has a game and a half of that. He has a game and a half. No. He has a game and a half of great football play. You know, Baltimore second half. Buffalo game, I guess. Really like a game of great play, but I'm just saying a game and a half. Let's give him a game and a half. He got a game and a half of great play. He got a game and a half of the same old quarterback. That New England game, he was the same old quarterback. And the first half of that Buffalo or Baltimore, it was lackluster. And then you got 2 games missing. Like, let that sink in. This is what people feel like he's already done enough this year to cement himself as a franchise quarterback when he got a game and a half of great play, a game and a half of the same old quarterback, average at best, and 2 games ain't even there. There's a problem in that entire situation. A game and a half and we got our franchise quarterback. That's a problem in itself if you believe that. And I'm not even going to hide behind curtains anymore. I'm not going to play with y'all anymore. I'm going to call it how it is. Baltimore just had an absolute collapse that they did. They lost that game. Just keeping it a buck with y'all. Baltimore lost that game. Baltimore gave up all them yards. Baltimore gave up them touchdowns. You couldn't find easier coverage in the NFL all season in a whole quarter. You will never see easier coverage in an entire NFL the whole season. Buffalo, the game plan was I like what we did in the game plan standpoint. Our defense also played some great football. But the truth of the matter is, beat up. Not a single starting corner on the field. And truth be told, we still didn't even take advantage of that. We still didn't even take advantage of Buffalo. What we score, what the offense score versus Buffalo without a single starting corner. What, 13 points or something like that? 13 points or something like that? A depleted team? Now, I ain't giving them an excuse for all them injuries they suffer in the game because that was in the game. And on top of that, it was really heat. They just couldn't take it. That's the elements. It is what it is. It's part of the game. I ain't giving them those excuses. But when we're talking about a quarterback, and we're talking about evaluating a quarterback, we didn't have the ball long. Rip Tupac, it was designed that way. It was designed for us not to have the ball long because it was a part of our game plan. Mike McDaniel didn't want us to have the ball long. He didn't want us making mistakes. He wanted to keep the ball in Josh Allen's hands, but force him. Like, I want y'all to think about this too. And this is what I told y'all about the Jets yesterday. This is why I wanted to see the Jets game. I actually wanted to see Tua play because I wanted to see how he played versus the Jets. Because I know the Jets are going to be consistently in cover 2, and they're going to stay. Mike McDaniel said it in his press conference. We didn't get a single snap of single high safety until a few times in the second half. And I told y'all preseason, y'all said, how would you defend the Dolphins, TD? 2 high safety. 2 high safety. It's easy. You can defend us real easy. Y'all think that Tyreek speed and all of that matters? If a team stays in 2 high safety, they'll neutralize our passing game. We'll be primarily dink and dunk and trying to run the football. And if we can't run the football, we're not going to win games. And shockingly, we ran the football yesterday, but that was primarily because the Jets actually, if you look at their scheme, they conceded the run. They wanted you to keep on running the clock, keep on running the ball. And you know why? Because Salah, they know, even though this wasn't Tua, Salah and them know y'all are always going to be trying to look for the big shot at some point. I saw Skylar Thompson on film when I watched the game again last night. Go look at how many plays he hiked the ball and he looking deep. He got time and he like, and nothing was there. And then he checked it down or he got in trouble or whatever it may be. We always want to go deep when you got Tyreek and Waddle, but we couldn't. You're running a 2 high safety. You're gambling, throwing. Think about the Bengals game. Think about Tua right before he got hurt. Looking deep with 2 high safety. What happened? Picked off. Next drive. Looking deep, 2 high safety, throws it deep. Almost picked off. Incomplete. Next play. Next drive, 2 high safety. Looking deep, going deep. It should have been picked off, but Tyreek just got his finger on the ball to knock it out. Incomplete. Tua took 3 shots that he shouldn't have took and covered 2 deep. And that's what teams are going to do to us. The playbook is out now, by the way. Just FYI. Every team going forward are going to look at the Bengals game and the Jets game and say, what did they do to stop them? They ran too high the whole time. We're not worried about the deep ball. That's all they're going to do. And I told y'all that preseason. You want to beat the Dolphins? Run 2 high safety, make us run the ball. And luckily, we actually had a run game yesterday. And I'm going to be honest, I don't know where like I said, I don't know where it came from, even though the Jets conceded it. The Jets conceded that. Usually the Jets, they run a lot of single high, but against us, they knew what they needed to do. But when you get a team like, take for instance, Minnesota, when you get the Vikings, oh my bad, let me pull it up. Oh my, let me pull up a stat for y'all. Let me pull up a stat for y'all. Maybe we'll have some hope this week. So when you got Minnesota, yes, they're in the middle of the pack, but they also got a good defensive front. If they could stop the run, running 2 deep safeties, it's going to be like anybody who could stop the run and still be able to be in cover 2. It's going to be hard for the Dolphins offense to do anything. You're going to be relegated to trying to dink and dunk, trying to get things slip through linebackers and all of that stuff. The Jets, they were prepared for this game, and they knew exactly what they needed to do to neutralize our offense. And I don't care what many of y'all say. Tua, Teddy, Skylar, it didn't matter who was in the game. It was going to be a rough day for the quarterback. They weren't giving up anything deep. They were not going to allow anything deep. Wow, the Panthers have fired their head coach, Matt Rule, after a 1-4 start. The Panthers have fired their coach. Breaking news. The Panthers fired their coach. But yeah, like I said, cover 2. And I'm going to tell y'all this too. They did a lot of that last year against us. And that's why the Jets were those were 2 tough games for us. And the only reason we came out with an exceptional victory in those games is because of the defense. In that Jets games last year, Tua threw 3 picks. Between both games, he threw 3 picks. 3 of his 10 picks. In 2 games, he threw 3 picks. And in the rest of the games, he threw 7. So, single one of them. Oh, so at the end of the day, I think that yesterday told us we need to prepare for everything. But teams have our number now. Teams have our number now. I'm telling you, you're going to see a lot of cover 2, and they're going to try to figure out ways to stop the run. Yeah, bring her in here. Hold on. Y'all give me a bring baby girl to me. Thank you. Yeah, but yeah, like I said, teams are going to play a lot of cover 2, and they're just going to try to stop the run organically. And if they can, our offense can't do anything. Our offense can't do anything. Truth be told, Tyreek, I mean, technically, this is what you call Tyreek getting shut down. I don't want to hear nothing about the injury later in the game. Waddle, it was almost like he didn't even play. Skylar Thompson didn't play well, but at the same token, nobody was helping. And when we see the all 22, we'll see exactly what I'm talking about. We'll see exactly what I'm talking about. No, Skylar messed up. See, now I tried to messed up. You can do it. Take your time. Oh, I don't know what you're saying, Ronnie. Oh, thank you, baby. Oh, did she eat? Hey, mama. We got baby time right now. She just sleep in my arms. I'm gonna sit right here and enjoy the stream. Put in Reed Sinet. Please. Mostert look good. Again, let's watch the all 22. Mostert found some lanes, broke a few tackles. But I'm telling y'all, I want to see what happens in this Minnesota game. Now, this new concussion protocol, I have to talk about this real quick. I personally don't feel like Teddy should have been eliminated from the game, but this is the new protocol. And I'm telling y'all now, they're going to pick and choose who they want to put in the new protocol, depending on how important the player is and all of that crap. Even the controversy with Brady yesterday and the thrown down with the personal foul. This new protocol is a little uneven. Shout out to Cappy the Penguin, said, how long before we fire Boyer? Adam Gase kept Bat Burke all year. Great point, Cappy. Let me put that down. Fire Boyer. Because I need to keep on the conversation that I'm having now, but I'm going to go to that. We're going to get there, Cappy. Oh, my gosh. We're going to talk about that. But this new concussion protocol, let me be clear with y'all, man. Again, I'm about to have a little 5 minutes of my opinion, so don't get mad at me. Well, that ain't what they said, TD, and all of that crap. I'm still entitled to my opinion, and I'm going to give it. This whole situation was a bunch of crap. Okay? First and foremost, the original protocol was very clear. Said fire Greer. Let me put that down too, because I think you're overreacting, Pete, because Greer is safe. I mean, I don't disagree with you, but he's safe, and I'll tell you why later. But this protocol, right? The original protocol, if a player shows the 5 specific symptoms, they're out for the game. I forgot exactly what the 5 are, but like touching your head to come to, stumbling. There's 5 things, right? And Tua showed all 5 in the Buffalo game. I don't care if it was his back, his ankle. He showed all 5 of the things that are required to keep you out of the game. Okay? That is a fact. Now, he showed those 5 things. They let him back in the game. Okay, he finished the game. Got the win. Yes, but whatever. I ain't going to trip about that. But still, right? He comes back 4 days later versus the Bengals. He showed 10 things. You might want to say the fingers went. That's 10. Whatever, right? He showed them all, right? That obvious. Okay. So then, next step, the media goes crazy. They should have never let him play. This is a travesty. The Dolphins this, the Dolphins that. And I told y'all from square one, this ain't the Dolphins' fault. Even though you would hope somebody would be like, I think he should sit out, whatever, right? But it ain't our fault. I knew we followed the protocols from day one, but the protocols sucked because I can get concussed now in 30 minutes past the protocol, right? So now the NFLPA, we're launching an investigation. So they launched a raggedy investigation. And I told y'all the investigation ain't going to find nothing but trying to cover things up and basically having a scapegoat. So then they fire the independent doctor. Whoa, firing the independent doctor is an admission that y'all screwed up. The person the NFL appointed screwed up. Y'all are basically saying y'all admit that y'all screwed up. He did something wrong. Oh, y'all about to get sued. And I'm like, this is not the NFL. They never do stuff like this. They never open up themselves for lawsuits like this. This is a shocker of all shockers. Something is wrong here that we don't know, because it doesn't make sense for them to basically fire somebody, which is an admission that who they appointed did something wrong, which makes them liable for Tua Tagovailoa's injury. And if I was Tua, I'm retiring the next day and I'm twitching in court. And I'm getting my $200 million. Now I'm getting $500 million. You know why? Because I'm a great quarterback and I felt like I was going to be better than Brady. Look at my college prospect. They did me wrong, all kind of stuff. I'm getting $500 million off rip. And trust me, in the court, his value being he was a first-round pick, and go look at what quarterbacks make, he could have got that money. He could have actually won, in my opinion, $500 million. In court, if they would have found the Dolphins to be, the NFL to be liable, which they admitted by firing the right? They would have said, okay, how much great quarterbacks can have a 20-year career. How much does a great quarterback make on average? Some of the best quarterbacks make 50 because they're going to go to the top. 50 times 20 is actually it's $1 billion, but I'm just saying he could have got paid, right? So I'm like, why is the NFL opening themselves up for this? This is crazy to me. It doesn't make sense. They fired the man. So I'm like, something's not adding up here. And then all of a sudden, our investigation is complete. Here's what we found. The Miami Dolphins did nothing wrong. They just followed the protocol that was in place. Duh. Number 2, we've determined that we need to change the protocol. Okay, change it. It still ain't going to rectify the issue, really, because this is something y'all really want to sweep under the rug because it's hard to manage this situation because the game is just violent. But number 3, this is what stood out to me. See, they tried to change the narrative 3 hours after they initially released it. But what did they say? The NFL and the NFLPA could not come to an agreement on whether or not Tua Tagovailoa was concussed in the Buffalo game. The NFL and the NFLPA could not come to an agreement on whether or not he was actually concussed, but they did come to an agreement that he was concussed in Cincinnati. So hold on. Why all of a sudden you can't come up to an agreement? Because the NFLPA feels like he was concussed. The NFL all of a sudden changed avenue and now we don't think he was concussed. Our investigation said it was a back injury and a foot injury. Oh, you trying to cover yourself on that lawsuit now. That investigation didn't do anything but cover themselves from the mistakes they already made by that's all it was. The NFL did not want, well, we don't feel like he was concussed in the Buffalo game. Because that is the factor that will determine liability or not. That's the factor. And I know he passed the protocol in the Buffalo game. But remember, anybody can pass. I can pass the protocol. I can get, like what I'm trying to tell you is I can get concussed right now. 10 minutes later, go in the tent, everything's back to normal. But that still has nothing to do with the long-term effects that it could be or will have on me. But what they did determine in the Buffalo game, he did show signs of all 5 symptoms that they look for to determine if you're concussed or not. They did agree on that, but they feel like their investigation after asking the Dolphins and talking to Tua, oh, the Buffalo game, it was just my back and my foot and my neck. So the NFLPA said, no, you showed the 5 signs, you were concussed. And now the new protocol, I don't care if you say it's your back, you show those signs, you are concussed. So the NFL's like, okay, that's the new rule, but the old rule, let's make sure that we put a date of when that was and make sure that it was just his back. And that's why they put in the memo, they wanted to be clear. The NFLPA wanted to be clear. We did not come to an agreement on whether or not Tua Tagovailoa was concussed in the Buffalo game. Because the NFL, they're all good with the back and in the ankle and the neck. And the NFLPA is like, no, it was a concussion. And the NFL said, I'm not conceding that. You're not going to have us playing $500 million because that's exactly what the ramifications would be. So the NFL, at the end of the day, cleaned up what they almost exposed themselves of. And that's what happened. And now the new protocols are being played out. And Teddy, who probably could have came back in the game and played, couldn't play because of the new protocol. Now, it's going to be an ongoing issue of how this works long-term anyway. Because I'm telling y'all, I saw 50 hits yesterday, way worse than what Teddy did. And guys got up, shook their head and stuff. Nothing. I think they wanted to make a statement in it in the Dolphins game for a whole fan base that saw what happened and want to know what was done. Oh, Teddy shook. Oh, get him out of there. Let's do it early in the game. Bam. We got it covered. Now we ain't got to look out for it no more. and that's exactly. And then even that controversial call with Tom Brady, how he got flung around. I saw guys get worse yesterday. No mention. No mention. So that's what I think about this whole new concussion protocol situation and what actually happened. So people coming in my timeline, told you he wouldn't concuss versus Buffalo TD. I was the first one that said, oh no, it was a back injury. But after I saw what I saw and I saw them symptoms, oh, that's concussion. Told you he wouldn't concuss. Why? Because the NFL trying to cover themselves now? Come on, man. Y'all got to be smarter than that. Got to be smarter than that. That man suffered 2 concussions in 4 days, period. And why would him and his family, I mean, from my understanding, it wasn't just the NFL and the Dolphins that seeked outside opinions, but from my understanding, Tua and his camp also seeked outside opinions on his health right now. Nobody's talking about that, but even they seeked outside opinions on his health and what the best course of action is moving forward. This is going to be an interesting week. I really want to see if Tua comes back this week. There's a lot of things that play here because it could be played so many ways from so many people. Tua and his camp could be saying they lost yesterday. People were like, oh, we want Tua back. Maybe we need to give him another week of that. This O-line look like it's beat up and depleted now. Do we really want to put you? Like if I was Tua camp, I wouldn't even want to play this week. I would come back the week after where I got three of the easiest games on my whole schedule. When I got freaking Pittsburgh, the Lions, and somebody else, but they said in the Bears, and they sorry. If I was Tua in his camp, I would say, based off of consulting with doctors, I want to take 1 more week to make sure that I'm good. And I'll come back after that for those 3 games, ball out, and I'm seen in the greatest light ever. I'm just being 100 with y'all if I was Tua, knowing the circumstance. Because what you don't want to do is come back versus the Vikings, potentially look like trash. Who knows? He might ball. I'm just saying. You playing a good team. They 4-1. They play good defense. They got a good pass rush. And your O-line is falling apart. And this is your prove-it year. I would be making a business decision. And on top of that, you are putting yourself at more risk by coming back versus the Vikings. Especially, I'll be keeping my eye on this whole week. Is Armstead? Do y'all know Armstead stayed in New York? Armstead didn't come back with the team. He stayed in New York to get some opinions from doctors in New York about his foot. He stayed in New York. You still got Tyreek and Waddle who are hampering injuries. So this is going to be an interesting week because now politics are going to be at a whole new level this week. And if Tua's team, whoever's around him, helping him make decisions, if they got any sense, in my opinion, once again, you know, because my opinion ain't the gospel, but in my opinion, if they got any sense, I would sit him out this week. As a Dolphin fan, I'd rather him play. But it's the same as the Bengals game. What did I tell y'all in the Bengals game? What did I say in the Bengals game? Didn't I say I would take a L and rest Tua this week? Didn't I say that? I said I would not play Tua. I would not play Armstead. I would not play Xavier Howard. I said that about all 3 of them before the Bengals game. I said, man, this is a game. You 3-0. Concede the L. You're banged up right now. Let these guys get healthy so we can go on a little run. But sure enough, all those guys went out there, and what was the end result? Everybody that was hurt got more hurt. Tua got knocked out. And more people got hurt. Even more people got hurt. And here we are again in another situation where you're going to play the 4-1 Vikings. They got a good pass rush. And again, they're beatable, especially if we're healthy. But we ain't healthy. And let me tell y'all something. The very last thing. Here you go, baby. The very last thing you want to see this season is Tua taking another hit and he out. Oh, Tua got hit hard. Ooh, he holding his ribs. I don't care what it is. It ain't got to be a concussion. Oh, Tua limping his leg. He barely can get to the sideline. Oh, he holding his chest. Something wrong. The last thing any Dolphin fan, including his haters, well, the haters probably want to see it, but if you really love Tua, the last thing you want to see is one more injury this year. If this man get knocked out of another game or something like that, even the biggest of fans would have to say, man, that's it. That's it. So at least put him in a position where he can be protected and everything. But I'm going to be honest, going up against the Vikings, I'm just not sure it's a smart move. He might even, I don't care if he came out and threw for 400 yards and 7 touchdowns, but it could be that one play. It could be that one play. Don't let this become the Tua fragile year. Get you one more week of rest with Armstead, with Xavier Howard. Like, everybody get healthy. And then let's go on a 3-game win streak versus the Bears, versus Pittsburgh, and versus the Lions. You're still 6-3 at that point. You could be 6-3 at that point if you play it that way. But don't lose guys long term and end up 5-4. Six and 3 with 8 games left. All you got to do is go 5-3 for the rest of the season. It ain't gonna be easy, but you got to get healthy. My opinion, at least. That's what I would do. So, Tua playing this week, it's possible, y'all, because the truth of the matter is, if you really want to ask, can somebody tell me why he was held out this week? Can anyone tell me why he didn't play this week? And I'm hoping that I didn't hear what I think I heard from McDaniel. I'm hoping that I'm overreacting, because I want you to think about what Mike McDaniel said in his press conference yesterday when they asked about quarterbacks, right? Watch this. Pay close attention to what he said. He said, and this is what scares me, that Tua ain't going to be back this week, nor is Teddy, because it's making me think that the NFL has an underlying, hey, if somebody's in the concussion protocol, they can't come back a minimum like 10 days or something like that. Let me tell you, or 14. Let me tell you why I feel that way. Mike McDaniel in his press conference, he said, well, we'll have to figure it out. We're confident we'll be able to have 2 quarterbacks on the roster coming into the game next week. If we have to move someone up, so you may see some transactions. Do y'all remember when he said that yesterday? Do y'all remember when Mike McDaniel said that in his press conference yesterday? We feel confident that we will have 2 quarterbacks coming into next week. Even if we, have to move someone up. So you'll see some, transactions, things happening, coming soon. What in the heck that mean? All I can hear from that is you're moving Reed Sinnett up to be QB2 behind Skylar, because Teddy and Tua, based off of protocols, might be out. Or that even means you might even be going to see if you can go grab another quarterback out there to put on the roster. And again, I told y'all, that could just be me overreacting, but this is what I heard. And all I could take from that is like, man, is he going to miss another week? And is Teddy going to be out too? So, my bad. But yeah, man, we got to keep our, that's why I told y'all this week, y'all give me a second. I got to respond to something real quick because I got a meeting at noon. All right. But yeah, it's just interesting to me. It made me think. I was like, I mean, all of this could be alleviated. They say, Tua's practicing, we're looking for him to play this week. I don't want to just hear he's practicing and it's a game time decision because that can come up too, man. So it's going to be interesting. But this week, ladies and gentlemen, the most interesting thing for us to look forward to is simple. It's simple. It's the injury report. And Tua Armstead, when they talk to Mike McDaniel, what does he say about? He don't give up nothing anyway when it comes to injuries, unless they're definitively out. But that's what we'll have to pay attention to this week. It's simply the injury report. It's that simple. Injury report, injury report, injury report. Every concussion is different. No QB should come back until an independent doctor clears him, not a team doctor. Yeah, I agree with that. But once again, when you got players that are just giving you the answers you want to hear, it don't matter in the NFL. These guys trying to get them checks for the future. They'll tell you whatever you want to hear. Yeah, I feel fine. No, I'm not having blurry sight. No, I'm not this. No, I'm not that. And I could only hope that if Tua's dealing with some symptoms for real, that he's being honest with his people about it. I could only hope that. We won't know. They'll never discuss the medical situation of a player. You'll know what the injury is, but they'll never typically discuss the symptoms unless the player discloses it. So we really don't know what's going on. All we're hearing is Tua's fine, he's this and that and this. He's excited. He wants to play this. He wants to play that. But sometimes these players are their own enemies. And if Tua don't play this week, it's official. The NFL basically don't play him because Tua wants to play. Mike McDaniel told you last week in the press conference, Tua was like, I hope I don't have to miss any games, man. I think I'm fine. I don't want to miss this. I don't want to miss that. Then Mike McDaniel had to say, stop. Let's worry about your health first. Don't worry about football. That shouldn't even be on your mind. And I appreciate him telling them that. Screw football. That ain't on your mind right now. Let's worry about going through these protocols. So Tua wants to play regardless because he knows how critical this year is. But if he don't play this week, trust me when I tell you, the NFL don't trust him. They do not trust his health. They do not want this man I told y'all this last week. They do not want this man having a third concussion on TV. They do not want this man having a third concussion on TV. At all. It will not be a good look for the NFL at all. And I'm going to tell you now, that Sunday night game versus Pittsburgh, they're going to be coming for him. And the first hit he take, they're going to be, get him out of here. It's national TV. Get him. I'm telling y'all, you might have, if Tua comes back and plays the rest of the season, you might have 2 or 3 games this year where they take him out just because they think the hit was hard. They are not going to take any chances with Tua. The NFL, I'm telling y'all, have deemed him as fragile. They have deemed him as fragile. Nobody going to say that. But the NFL ain't crazy. You ain't finna sit out here and risk your life on our watch. So all we can do is what's in our control. He get hit hard, and I don't care if he trip on his own foot getting up. I don't care if he trip off his right tackle's foot getting off the ground. He out for the rest of the game. He is out for the rest of the game. NFL ain't finna play about that, especially not with him. Especially not with him. He has become the poster child of this situation. You don't think them first of all, them owners, they do care about players' health, but you think they care about players' health to that degree? These owners probably behind closed doors, man, this fragile man, come on, man. Don't listen. He bump his head, I don't care what it's for. Somebody, illegal hands to the face. Up, get him out of there. Get him out of there. And I'm going to tell y'all now, teams are going to be coming for him. That's just the nature of the NFL. They're not going to be sitting there talking about, well, he gets concussions, so take it light on him. Teams want that. Oh, that's knocked their starting quarterback out. They prepared with him all week. Whoever the backup is, they didn't prepare. Teams are going to be coming. And you know how dirty some of these teams are. Man, y'all, man, come on. If you want to have a real conversation, you know what be happening in these locker rooms. Some of these coaches, hey, I'm going to tell you like this. Even if you got to get a personal foul, late hits, put them rocks on them. Lay that wood to him. Make him feel us. Make him feel it. Man, the NFL knows this. And that's why they nervous about Tua. Bounty, exactly. But in these days, some you ain't even got a bounty anymore. It's just a straight up go get him. Go get him. He throw the ball, push him to the ground. Like hard. Do all of it. I'm telling y'all, man. It's this NFL, man. And the closer you get to the end of the season, when it matters more and more for these teams, man, they don't care. They do not care. But yeah, I hope he plays. Well, see, I got mixed feelings. I hope he plays this year because we want to continue his evaluation this week. But I also was like, if he don't play, I understand why. It's a catch-22. You need to be out there with your team because if we keep losing games, you attribute it to that because you're not available to give us anybody who believes we would win these games with Tua, then that is a knock on him for not being there so that we could win them. That's a part of the evaluation, how available you can be for your team. So it's a catch-22. He's in a tough situation. If I'm not out there and we're losing, we risk not making the playoffs. Let us miss the playoffs by one game again. Same thing. And what? You think they're going to invest big money on hoping the guy can stay healthy every year? You just don't do that at the quarterback position. I can see if you had maybe a year of a bad injury or a year and a half, but this is 3 years now, injury every time. Injury every time. So I'm sorry. It's going to be interesting. I think he wants to get out there versus the Vikings. But I also, if he does get out there versus the Vikings, boy, oh boy, he better not get hurt and he better have an excellent game, regardless of the O-line, regardless of the receivers, regardless of the penalties, regardless of anything. Because people ain't going to be able to give you the excuses because they didn't give him the Skylar. That's why from a political standpoint, my team, if I was in Tua's team, don't play this week, bro. Just keep it in a buck. But we'll see. Pete said when Hill was 100%, we didn't see him on punt returns. Now had a bad groin or a hammy and is put at punt return. I'm questioning these coaches' decisions. Teddy, high risk concussion, and didn't bother splitting reps with Skylar. That's true too. Teddy has a history. That's true too. NFL players see blood and go for it. You better know it. You better know it. But think about it. The Vikings 4-1, knowing that later in the season it ain't gonna be as easy. Man, they coming to get this man out the game as soon as possible and trying to get out of there with that W. And it ain't gonna get no better in Pittsburgh. They in desperation mode now. They really want to come. They really want you. So it'll be interesting. We'll see. I'm gonna be honest with you. The smart thing to do for Tua is not play, but I want to see him out there. When that report come, I want to see Tua out there because him not being available now, technically, like, hold on. How much of the Bengals game did he miss? Half of it? Yeah, he missed about half of the game, right? Or when did it happen? Second or third quarter? When did he get hurt in the Bengals game? Second or third quarter? I think at the end of the second quarter, maybe. So he played half of the Bengals game. Yeah, it was the second quarter, at the end of the second quarter. Because Teddy had like one drive and we went to halftime. So he done missed the game and a half. Tua has missed the game and a half so far. This would actually be 2.5 games. This would be 2.5 games if he misses this one. I told you, all he can miss is 2 games this year. G said it was all good just a week ago. Yeah, we were riding on the high. You're right. I know it's hard to think business with Tua, but the good news is that signing deal will be cheaper, so we'll have more cap for superior players. Well, I disagree, Joseph. You don't sign a deal with a guy like that and move forward. I think you're missing the point. Do you think the Dolphins want Tua as their franchise quarterback if he can only play 12 games a season? If he can only play 12 games, like some of y'all are like, hey, if we could get him for only $20 million a year, then we could deal with it. No. This is about his availability, not affordability. They were trying to go after Watson. You think this is about affordability? This ain't about affordability. This is about your playing skills and availability. It's that simple. So no, this ain't about that. And another thing, you're talking about long term. You got all these players, man. You can't be wasting their years. You cannot be wasting their years. I'm telling y'all now, you got Teron Armstead for 2 years. You got Teron Armstead for 2 years. Matter of fact, I gotta look that up real quick. Let me pull this up real quick. This is what people need to understand. Let me show y'all something. So the out on Teron Armstead, they'll be able to get out of that contract in 2024 if they want to. Because it's only a $7.2 million dead cap, which is only $2.4 million for 3 years because they got him on a 5-year deal. They only guaranteed $30 million. So this year and next year is pretty much what it is. Okay. What you have to understand is, and how old is he now? 31, 32 next year, 33 the year after. You got to understand, they got to eventually find his replacement. Look like they're going to need a right tackle for the future because none of it's working out over there. Look like they're going to need a left guard now for the future. That ain't even working out. Only thing working out is the right guard and Connor Williams at center. That's about it. Let me see something. Give me a second. Because I got to look at his age too. Oh, Connor good. He had a good age. But they only signed Connor Williams to a 2-year deal. I just realized this. I didn't even recognize that before. Connor Williams is only signed for a 2-year, 2-year, $14 million contract. So I'm going to be honest with you. If Connor keeps playing great football after this season, he's going to want an extension, and a serious one. Connor's going to say, I don't want $7 million a year, ain't cutting it for me. I need 13. If he keep playing great football. I didn't even realize that. That'll be interesting. Keep my eyes on that situation. But my point is, I want y'all to think about this. Let's say that the season ended right now and we just missed the playoffs. All right, let me read this first. Tannehill broke his knee and he was considered injury prone to this franchise. Now Tua is broken from head to toe in this franchise. And this fan base or franchise isn't over him. Greer needs to go ASAP. It's not Greer, Pete. I keep trying to tell you, bro. You keep looking at the wrong person. All right, Ronnie, we'll do a contract stream soon, real soon, okay? Because I need to talk about firing Boyer and firing Greer. We're going to do a stream on that later today or tomorrow. And we're also going to do a contract stream. We need to. But this is what we need to talk about as Dolphin fans. You need a left tackle for the future. You still need a left guard. You need a right tackle for the future. You're going to need a center if Connor Williams going to want more money, or you're going to just need to pay him, right? Christian Wilkins is up. Xavier Howard looks like we're about to start to decline massively. Byron Jones' days are numbered, injuries constantly, and we expected to get off his contract after this year anyway. But these are all people in positions you got to either replace or pay. Mike Gesicki out of there. So you're not going to have a great tight end. You'll have, guys that's solid, hopefully. That's 8 right there, and I ain't even breaking the roster all the way down. We're good at safety. You need at least 2 good linebackers to go with Tyndall if he emerges as the future. Your linebacking core ain't it. You need organic pass rush. Ogba ain't gonna be here that much longer. They gave him his deal, but as soon as they can get out of that, where's Ogba been, y'all? You see, if you're not running Flores scheme consistently, these guys disappear. Ogba ain't it. I'm not going to write Jalen Phillips off yet, but he's underwhelming. They are not happy. This is what was told to me. They're not happy. You got to pay Zach Zyler, who's coming up for a contract, and he's young, rated out way better than Christian Wilkins. That's 12 right there. Not to mention the quarterback situation. 13. Whether you get another one, pay Tua, whatever it is. This is what people need to realize. There's so many things that in 2 years, this being 1 year, and after next year, too many things are on the table for this team. That's why I told y'all the window is now. The window is now and next year. Out of that, we're going to be like, man, we couldn't keep him. How did they let him go? Be quiet. I've been telling y'all this. They can't afford everybody. Don't act brand new. But you know what the Dolphins going to do? This is what they going to do and get the Dolphin fans all excited. They going to have freaking 13 positions that need to be filled with quality players. And we're going to have a less quality team, but they're going to make it look more quality. This is how they're going to do it. So they're going to go out. They're going to get one corner that's great, right? Yeah, we got one of the best corners to replace Byron. Yay, right? Then they'll say, we got one of the best linebackers in the league. Oh, yay. And now we got one of the best right tackles. And then they're going to fill all the other positions with okay players. And we're just going to be so blinded and enamored by the 3 guys we got. Yay! Yay! We got some more elite players to go with Tyreek and Waddle and Javon Holland and Brandon Jones. And we're not going to look at our roster and realize that it's actually not even as good as it was. You get in the corner ain't do nothing but replace X. You get in the right tackle ain't do nothing but replace Armstead. You getting a linebacker does not make up for all them other holes on the O-line, the other linebacker, the freaking defensive ends. It didn't make up for all of that. But that's what they going to do, like they always do. And Dolphin fans going to eat it all up. Oh, bro, why are you always year after year after year so negative? Because y'all accept anything instead of greatness. We had too many forks in the road, and we went down the wrong path in the last 3 years multiple times. Multiple times. Anyway, man, it's noon. I actually got a meeting I'm late for now. I'm going to come back to y'all later because we need to talk about the snap counts. We need to talk about Josh Boyer. We need to talk about Chris Greer. And then we'll do a contract. We'll do a contract stream coming up soon for the near future. All the decisions they need to be made. We'll talk about all that. This is TD Fans Talk, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. Look at this, man. Somebody, look at this. Before I leave, we're going to talk about this later too. Because y'all remember, right? Remember how they said everything was Brian Flores' fault? Y'all remember how they say everything was Brian Flores' fault? This just came out today. Joe Shad just posted it, and these are accurate results. The Miami Dolphins are ranked 32nd in pass blocking and 19th in run blocking. And it's all Flores' fault. Shout out to the homie EM, man. And it was all Flores' fault. The Miami Dolphins are ranked 32nd in pass blocking and 19th in run blocking. It wasn't like that 2 weeks ago. So that tells you in itself, even for Skylar yesterday, the blocking and all of that was atrocious. But y'all ain't giving the same benefit of the doubt. But it was supposed to be Flores' fault, right? Everything was Flores' fault. We can't pass block, man. Flores. We 32nd in pass blocking. We are the worst team in the NFL in pass blocking right now. We actually got worse. We always with Flores 30th, 31st, 29th, 32nd. But we're 32nd right now in pass blocking. Miss me with all that. And TD is the one with the narratives, huh? I've been the one with the narratives, huh? Everybody getting exposed, man. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. I will see y'all later today because we do have to talk about those other things. Y'all drop some big super chats to talk about. I'll come back to y'all later and we'll discuss those. This TD Fans Talk, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans, man. It's Flores' fault.